Our three officials, Doug Sermons, Jeff Clark, Nate Harris. Greg Evans is the alternate. It is Carolina who controls the opening tip, and away we go.
And notice early where A.J. Hogarth is guarding, or was guarding, Elliot Cadeau kind of back in the lane, not giving him the driving opportunities, and it's picked up the team inside. But the veteran Baycott immediately knew where it was coming from. Brian turned baseline and took advantage of it.
Second all-time scoring in program history in North Carolina. Baycott with that jump hook opens it up today, and Walker does the same on the other end. And Jim, this is going to be one of those games. Both teams want to run it if they can. That's going to be an offensive foul going the other way. So Baycott pinned with one as Carson Cooper hits the deck, and it'll be Michigan State ball.
And those are one of the fouls for Baycott you don't want to pick up, because this could turn into a physical contest, and you want to have as many fouls available to you. And now you figure, if you're Michigan State, you want to try to involve him in a pick and roll, see if he can pick up foul number 2 and regulate him to watching this first half, much of it from the bench.
Dump it down to Malik Hall, guarded by Harris and Ingram. A matchup in the front court. The jump hook is good. Offense is efficient early. The freshman point guard leading these Tar Heels. Elliot Cadeau, he takes a three. He has struggled from beyond the line. He will not be guarded much from beyond the line. Matter of fact, he hasn't made a three-pointer since March 2nd. He's missed 8 straight now. And you can imagine that Michigan State with a game plan to sag off him, give him plenty of room.
Well, you're basically playing 4 on 5. I mean, offensively right now, last 4 games, only 8 for 29, and good move by Hogarth, but good defense by Cormac Ryan.
Here's Cadeau doing what he does best, getting to move it in transition. Ingram misses.
You know, and Cadeau talked about this. He said he wasn't so much concerned last game with the number of shots missed. More so what really bothered him was the 4 turnovers. You can't have that versus this Michigan State team, because, as you know, Brian, they'll make you pay for your mistakes.
Michigan State, on the other end, on the offensive end, they protect the ball well. Top 30 team in fewest turnovers. Here's Carson Cooper, and he goes to work, misses the jump hook. Coming in there, Akins secures another chance here for the Spartans. Malik Hall, some contact there. Last touch by Ingram. Officials come together, and Doug Sermons overrules Jeff Clark, and it'll be Carolina basketball.
Yeah, a lot of contact, and Coach Tom Izzo is not happy to see on the spin, the reach down right there. Now, early in that possession, Ingram may have gotten his arm, but once the ball was lost, that's where Tom Izzo is saying that contact occurred. Tend to agree with him on that one, that's why Malik Hall kind of really never had control of the basketball, but play on.
First time these two programs have met in the NCAA tournament since 09. R.J. Davis, he is the #1 option. Top scorer. Davis gets himself in the scorebook. Answer on the other end by Tyson Walker.
Tyson does an excellent job of being patient, allowing the screen to occur, not moving too soon. That allows him, when he catches, he's able to identify where the weak spots in the defense are and then score.
Down in the post, here's Baycott working on Cooper, and that's going to be Akins with a foul on the reach in. Baycott was a beast, another double-double in an NCAA tournament game. Free throws here for Baycott. Couch or courtside, Jimmy? Refresh your fandom with a delicious Coke Zero Sugar. Is it the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
You know what, Armando Baycott, the first play he got, was a post-up on his right block. He identified where the double was coming from and went to the baseline. That's just experience over the years by being guarded in a number of different varying defensive schemes. Coach Tom Izzo wants the post double, but he'll switch it up. Maybe he'll come on the dribble. He'll come on the pass, because if Baycott gets too familiar with what the coverage is, then he's just going to kill you all day long. And this is the first possession here. And for him, you post up a little bit higher on the block. Watch him come across. Why is this happening? Because once the double team comes from the middle, Guess what? The baseline is wide open. He has room to operate, and he's not buried behind the backboard. That's just years and years of experience, Pierre.
1 out of 2 by Baycott. Baycott, UNC record for double-doubles and rebounds. His 7th straight double-double in an NCAA tournament game in their round 1 victory over Wagner. That was a 28-point win for Carolina against Wagner, the 16 seed who came out of the first 4. Top seeds have dominated so far in this tournament. Mari Sissoko, first minute on the floor. The turnaround jumper is good. Fasting for Ramadan, Mari Sissoko getting some early minutes here.
And did you see the apprehension a little bit from Baycott not to reach, not to have too much contact because he picked up that early foul and didn't want number 2.
Hogard, the point guard, at the controls. Here's Akins. Akins will be the X factor as long as Michigan State stays in it. Oh, nice move, R.J. Davis couldn't hit the mid-range jumper. Hall flying high for the rebound, and that was last touch by Carolina. Oh, beg your pardon. Doug Sermons changed his mind. A little overzealous with the possession call. He meant Carolina ball, and now he gets it straight.
That's all right. Officials make mistakes as well, as long as you correct it. And right there, Cormac Ryan gets a hand, but it is off Malik Hall. Now listen, in that fast play, R.J. Davis had the jump shot, but Cormac Ryan was wide open in this right-hand corner for a 3, but they weren't able to get it to him, but they retained possession.
Davis trying to turn the corner on Sissoko, cannot. Picked up his dribble, posted up for Baycott. Double team is there, he gets through it. And that will be Michigan State ball. Baycott upset, thought there was a foul. They are fired up on that Michigan State bench.
MSU has been unable to win more than 3 games in a row in all of 2024. Inconsistency literally defined their season, yet here they are, as unified and as confident as ever before. Tyson Walker said it fueled us more than ever. Malik Hall said he thinks it's funny. He said, quote, anyone who didn't think we were good enough was not watching closely enough. We know who we are, and it just makes winning that much more fun.
Allie, great stuff, and you know this by playing the game and being around it, that sometimes when the expectations are lower, that you perform at your best, and this could be an opportunity for Michigan State this year to finally get over the hump in the tournament versus North Carolina. Not going to be easy. North Carolina has struggled in some aspects during the course of the year, but they're determined and ready to go and talented as anybody in the nation.
Michigan State preseason number 4, but they were out of the top 25 by Thanksgiving as Malik Hall, late clock, working on Jalen Withers. Malik Hall finally getting his chance to be an everyday starter. All that experience. Both of these rosters are packed full of players who are in triple figures in games played at the collegiate level.
So you're saying that it's an experience on the court. Basically, and that's going to pay off, I think, in regards to style of play, especially if this game is close down the stretch.
Walker and Akins, first backcourt sub of the game, is Trey Holloman on the floor for Michigan State. Walker fouled from behind. His old AAU teammate, R.J. Davis, fouled him. And free throws here for Walker. These two teams go way back. Now, North Carolina, their championship year in '57. They beat Michigan State once again in 1998. 05 championship season, also beating Michigan State 2007. They actually matched up in the championship game in 2009. Won by Carolina. 5-0 Carolina over Michigan State. 4-0 against Tom Izzo-led Michigan State teams. There are caveats to that. That's 5-0 in the NCAA tournament, by the way. But on the last 5 occasions, including this one, Carolina has been a #1 seed. 3 of those titles coming in the previous 5 before this one. Roy Williams, a part of a number of those, 3 of those, as a matter of fact. So there is some history that Michigan State would like to erase. North Carolina would like to continue to add on to. But 5-0 is a pretty incredible record in the NCAA tournament for one major team against another. Davis knocks it down. A little mid-range jumper is good for R.J. Davis.
Yeah, beautiful rip through. That time got back to his sweet spot and to button up what you were saying, in 2009, not only did North Carolina, beat them and win the national championship, but they beat them earlier that year by 35, in Detroit in the ACC Big Ten Challenge.
Malik Hall just banging away on Withers. Got him up in the air. That's a matchup that Michigan State wanting to exploit early here. As soon as Withers came on the floor, Malik Hall took him down in the post, and he's going back to the line.
Think about the strategy for Michigan State right now. It is to pound the basketball and get closer to the paint. Only one three-point shot attempted out of 6 shots. Malik Hall has found himself in the post, mid-post. Tyson Walker also getting involved with some jump shots inside.
State women yesterday at an 8-9 matchup in the women's tournament. So UNC advancing. Malik Hall gets 1 out of 2 at the line, and they're working on the hand of the #1 option for Michigan State, Tyson Walker. Looks to be okay, already walking away from the athletic trainer. Seth Trimble, great defensive player off the bench. Both the Jalen's off the bench on the floor now. Washington and Withers. And a hot pass, turned it over. This Michigan State pressure defensively wreaking a little havoc here for Carolina.
Yeah, the ability to play physical basketball without fouling is going to be the key for both teams. And that time, for each, it was a dead ball turnover, so it wasn't as prevalent as having a live ball turnover where Michigan State could then take advantage of it in transition, but a turnover nonetheless.
A.J. Hogarth sticks a 3. A 10-point lead for Michigan State. Out of the gates fast. Hogarth drills their first three-pointer of the game. Carolina is 0 for 4 from beyond the arc. This is an 11-2 run. Trimble, take it on Cohen Carr, now runs into Kohler. And Cormac Ryan misses, 0 for 5 from three-point range. Holloman wants to push it. Hogarth gives it up, wide open. Malik Hall, he'll fire. Short. And Washington with a rebound. It'll be a foul on Jackson Kohler of Michigan State.
About that in basketball, you put the ball in the paint or get close to it. That's what Michigan State has done early, especially with Armando Bacot picking up that early foul. Go inside, force him to collapse, and then like we just saw, the first three-point shot made by A.J. Hogarth, you were able to get that because the defense sunk in. Again, it's strategic, and with both teams, the longer jump shots you shoot, the longer the rebound and more chance of both teams to get in transition. Beautiful play.
Trimble able to lay it in. By the way, that sequence brought to you by Powerade. It takes more. Seth Trimble gets on the board. Looking for Kohler inside. Walker's got Cormac Ryan on him. Now the screen. Walker gives it up. Hogarth with Davis on him. 6 to shoot. Hogarth rises up. Missed it. That was Trimble flying high for the rebound.
A great way to come in and secure that defensive rebound. And Davis
in transition, R.J. Davis. First three-pointer for Carolina. Carr goes right back at him. Cohen Carr is fouled. 5-point game. Hubert Davis coming in. Fired.
Hot. Hey, Allie, this is twice now. Tom Izzo the other day, and now Hubert. Right when you were getting into the question, they already knew exactly what you wanted to say, and both coaches a little heated.
Hubert Davis just moving bodies in there to get in that huddle. 8 points in the paint for Michigan State, so 14 possessions for the Spartans. They're 7 of 12, and nearly half of their points coming in the paint. And you have clearly heard the game plan for Hubert Davis and the Tar Heels moving forward here. 1 out of 2 for Cohen Carr coming off the Michigan State bench, the freshman.
Also to the battle of the paint. Right now, Michigan State 10-4 in regards to rebounding. Now, just because North Carolina is 5 for 13 from the field, so some missed shot opportunities, but you got to battle, and North Carolina has to figure out a way themselves to score inside. Another turnover almost.
Withers was fouled. Ball came loose. Withers, a Charlotte native. Glad to be back in his hometown. It's a little over 2 hours from Chapel Hill. There is Jim Phillips, the ACC commissioner, one of the great guys in college sports. Had a good chat with Mr. Phillips before the game.
Great job.
He's been bouncing around all over to see various teams in the ACC. That's a hit for Jalen Washington, the Gary, Indiana native, the sophomore. And the Tar Heel fans are on their feet, inspired by that Tar Heel bench. Hogarth, a steady point guard, especially when it gets loud. Jackson Kohler backing his way in. Kohler working on Washington. A flurry of moves. Oh, and the kid from Utah comes up with a little turnaround jumper.
Yeah, Kohler has that in his game, and that time Trimble over-penetrated but got away with it. And how about the patience to get that shot up and in? And
Withers a three-point miss. Kohler with a rebound. Trimble hits the deck. Jaden Akins. And now Walker. Great guards here with Michigan State. Ooh! Tyson Walker hits a three. Walker with 8 quick ones. Has not missed a shot. 3 for 3. That's his first three-pointer of the game.
yeah, but did you see how much respect Jalen Withers gave Tyson Walker? By giving him room in that time. Here's the transition for Michigan State.
Walker, transition three. He's got another one. Back to back. It was a fight for the rebound. Michigan State comes away from the pack, and Walker makes him pay once again. It's a quick 8-0 run. Ingram misses. Rebound ripped down by Booker. Fast pace going here. Sparty moving it. Trimble picks up Tyson Walker, their best perimeter defender. And now Kohler looking to give it right back. Walker, pull up, long two. Ooh, was running away from that. First miss for Tyson Walker at 19 against Mississippi State. Davis is fouled. That was a nice pass to Withers, but the foul prior to on Akins.
You know, it's interesting. Here's the amount of respect that Jalen Withers gives Tyson Walker, and that time he's able to square it up and knock it in. And then this is where Michigan State can beat you in transition. Now, keep in mind, Michigan State's pace is on the lower end in Division I, but where they beat you is when you turn it over, they exploit it. When you score, they like to outlet the ball quickly and see if they can get a good shot early in the shot clock. That's their transition offense.
Ryan, little turnaround over Walker. Got a size advantage on him. Carolina misses once again. Tom Izzo is rolling some bodies out there right now. He's played 10 guys already. He's used his entire rotation, keeping fresh legs on the floor. Jalen Withers commits the foul here. That's his second foul. And that's the 15th foul for Carolina.
But I think the strategy, too, with Hubert Davis was we need more energy, we need more fight. Hence, I'm going to go to my bench a little bit earlier to see if I can get that. Maybe that incentivizes the starters. And that's just a misread right here and bad pass by Hogarth.
Hubert Davis rotation about 8 deep. Can go to 9, but right now he's sticking with his 8. Everybody getting minutes in this first window here. Cadeau drives it in. Cadeau scores. Took the contact. Got a chance at a three-point play. Freshman from New Jersey, Elliot Cadeau.
Well, you know, as reluctant as he's been to shoot the basketball this time, once he got in the paint, his natural instincts just took over. And maybe that's the basket that he needs, being scoreless the last game on 0 for 2. But again, those 4 turnovers, and maybe that's the one, plus the free throw that now loosens him up a bit, Brian.
His first points in the NCAA tournament. The freshman from Link Academy. West Orange, New Jersey, his hometown. Willie Call once again going at Withers. Matchup to watch early here. Hall has had his way and continues it that way. Spins off Withers. Easy lay-in in the post. Michigan State by 11. Carolina fires the three. Ingram's got it. He can shoot it out there. He was one of the point of emphasis for Tom Izzo in the scout against Carolina.
He's a difference maker in regards. He can defend, rebound, but he also has the ability to shoot from outside. He could be a difference maker. And speaking of which, right there, good defense by Cormac Ryan on Jaden Akins.
Give Ryan a block. Here's Ingram again. Hogarth picks him up this time. That's going to be out of bounds. That'll stay Carolina ball.
This level, was it an all-time high? How do you nip back even a performance just like?
We followed the game plan pretty good for the first part. Now we've given up a couple of threes because guys getting a little, and we took a couple of bad shots just because you get excited. That's what this environment does to you. So we got to do a little better job of keeping our cool. But I thought in a lot of ways, we've gotten the ball inside. We've gotten the ball off some curls. We've taken a lot of good shots.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
Good stuff from Tom Izzo. Appreciate his time. Thank you, Allie. Ingram passes to Bacot, who is fouled. And Bacot will go to the line. So just unpack a little bit what you heard from Tom Izzo. There's a reason why he is so successful in the NCAA tournament. The fact that he's deep into his rotation already, sensing a little adrenaline pumping right now, sees the game so well in his 26th consecutive NCAA tournament.
Yeah, and a lot calmer in that timeout. Notice when coaches are up a little bit, the interview goes a little bit differently than when you're down. But he understands the importance of his game plan and what he needs to do, especially controlling the paint area and not giving North Carolina easier looks. If they're going to knock some threes in, and vice versa for Hubert Davis, let them do it with a contested hand.
9 seed Michigan State. They beat the 8 seed Mississippi State in round 1. 17 wins for Tom Izzo as the worst seed. As Allie pointed out before we started, when they're an underdog, they smile. Holloman, the push-off. The backup point guard commits his second foul. He's had a little uneasy run here in the first 2 games of this tournament. Tom Izzo pointed him out directly in round 1, and that was an easy call to make for Doug Shermans.
Yeah, and sometimes the entanglement up top, you're trying to get rid of your opponent, but at the same time, in the middle of the court, beautiful pass.
Bacot finishes. That was Cadeau who set him up, and it's a 7-0 run for Carolina now. Carson Cooper with the fitted mask on. He took a shot to the face of the Big Ten tournament and almost turned it over. Ingram got a hand on it. Cadeau missed that 3, Jimmy, but this freshman, he's built for moments like this, and he's at his best when he's distributing.
He is too. And, you know, the ease of making that basket relaxes you a little bit. And I don't understand why Carson Cooper was up on the high side anyway of Bacot trying to deny him. Should be up underneath him because you want Bacot to walk up the court and not get back door. And there's Bacot with his influence on the block, and now you have numbers.
Cadeau finds Bacot. Akins runs him down, though. Knocks it out of his hands. Extra effort there by Jaden Akins. That was going to be a dunk. And believe me, we are 2 hours from Chapel Hill. This is a North Carolina crowd here. So any of those high wire moments that get the crowd into it, Michigan State going to be fighting hard to eliminate that. Matter of fact, Tom Izzo was imploring Rick Barnes to have his Tennessee fans show up early. That little block right there at the top of your screen, that's designated for Tennessee fans. He said, we need some help. Cadeau left wide open. His second attempt, he missed it. There is a foul underneath that's going to belong to Cormac Ryan. So that's going to be something to watch today. Team sagging off of Elliot Cadeau. That is not going to change. Now, how willing will he be to continue to shoot?
Now, it's 2 things here. One, you can swing it really quick or drive it if you're not comfortable shooting if you're Cadeau. On this end of the court, Michigan State, the last 4 or 5 possessions have been a lot more stagnant. What got them was the movement and beautiful defense that time by Harrison Ingram. Malik Hall couldn't hold him off, and this is a deep corner inbound, so you got to be careful about how you enter the ball, and A.J. Hogarth has already made 1 miscue underneath by turning it over.
Good play by Ingram. Transferred out of Stanford, 2 years there. Former Pac-12 freshman of the year. Hubert Davis has used that portal. Tom Izzo has not. Rising up is Hall. Missed it. There's Ingram with a rebound. Cadeau gives it right back to him. In transition, the 3-pointer. Shooter's touch. Harrison Ingram. Carolina within a point. This run is now 10-0. Ball's in Cooper's hands once again. Michigan State Can't break the pressure on the perimeter. 3 to shoot. Hogard against Baycott. And Baycott blocks him. No, travel prior to. Michigan State turns it over. Baycott, his defensive prowess intact.
Well, Malik Hall kind of in no man's land, and Ingram able to make him pay. An excellent one-on-one defense by Armando Baycott. It gave Hogard enough space, but he closed that space, and his height was the advantage once they got closer to the basket, forcing another Michigan State turnover.
Jimmy now in his 5th year. Baycott has accomplished a lot at Carolina, but he is most proud of being ACC All-Defense this year. Baycott posting up on Cooper. Strong, and a foul. Follow won't count. The foul is on Cooper. He took a shot to that mask. Already a facial injury, and Baycott not letting him off the hook here. Going in strong. And 2 free throws here for Armando Baycott. Second foul on Cooper.
But that's the second time, and you see Baycott, going through. You go through your opponent. But that's the second time Baycott has caught it high enough, and he knew exactly where the double team was coming from and spin to the baseline.
Watch whip around. And Cooper will sit. He took a shot against Purdue in the Big Ten tournament. They had that custom-fitted mask for him, but he took another one here in this second-round matchup. Baycott's free throw shooting much improved as well. And he knocks them both in. And Carolina is in front. Extended run here for Carolina, now 23-1. It covers a 12-0 run currently. 23-11 run in the last 8 minutes after they got down big. Michigan State was up by 12. Carolina has covered. They've settled in. Just 1 for 5 with 3 turnovers. As Sissoko gets it deep, moves his man, can't score it. Washington the rebound.
Yeah, good defense that time by Jalen Washington. Sissoko got deep inside, a little too strong, and North Carolina absorbed that first and second punch from Michigan State, settled in offensively, got some stops, and now able to feel comfortable offensively.
Good find. Wojcik in the corner, cannot hit it. Paxton Wojcik, his father Doug, Michigan State assistant coach, who had the scout today. All in the family, this matchup between the Michigan State bench and Wojcik coming off that bench, still with eligibility remaining after a career at Brown. Wojcik guarding Akins. Michigan State has not scored in the last 8 minutes and change here. And now Walker lets a long three-pointer fly, comes up short. Wojcik moves it. Wojcik drives it, kicks it. Davis squares up a 3. Cash money. Tom Izzo wants a timeout. Carolina 15-0 is the run. Coming in from Brown after he graduated in the Ivy League, getting a chance here for UNC. Doug's a former assistant under Matt Doherty at Carolina. Just made a great pass, didn't he? Set up a three-pointer. Put this run up top. Sissoko can't put it down. So Michigan State cannot stop this run. And now Carolina trying to add to it. Davis looking for the post-up once again with Baycott. Baycott in there strong. He is fouled by Sissoko. Baycott to the line.
Allowed him to get out and run. Offensively settled in.
And Baycott back to the line. He's already 5 out of 6 from the line, make it 6 of 7. So he has been a frequent visitor to the free throw line already in this first half. Carolina was down 12. Michigan State has just one made basket since that point. That was at the 8:08 mark. Baycott with 2 free throws here, and Carolina extends their lead to 6 now. And the run is 17-0.
But remember that timeout with Hubert Davis when he was fired up about them not playing physical, allowing Michigan State really to do whatever they want. But since then, North Carolina stepped up their defensive pressure, not allowed the open shots, and even forced Michigan State to miss some easy ones right at the basket.
Well, when you need a bucket, you go to Walker, and he's fouled here. Remember, Walker was having his hand checked on the Michigan State bench. Baycott does not believe that he fouled him here. Walker,
he got a point
at his shoulder.
He got a point.
Walker still kind of grabbing at his left arm.
Well, take a look here. It's really R.J. Davis that has the contact early. It's not Baycott. Baycott is not in the way. Okay, so the contact, as minimal as it was, threw Tyson Walker off balance, but that foul was not on Armando Baycott.
Yeah, that was his beef, and they did change it. Yeah. And Walker misses the free throw. So they changed the foul from Baycott to Davis. And Walker, 1 out of 2 at the line. Michigan State finally put some points on the board. After a fast start, Michigan State had a couple of big runs, 11-2 and then 10-3 in the first half of this first half. Cormac Ryan for 3, got it. Streaky shooter. If Carolina gets Cormac Ryan going, look out. Jaden Akins with Wojcik on the screen. Akins rises up, mid-range jumper is true. He's got a pure stroke.
They need him, and not just to knock down jump shots, to have some exciting plays, see if he can get some second shots opportunities. But here, North Carolina feeling rather comfortable offensively. Last 6 minutes kind of getting any and everything they want in their half-court offense.
Leaving Pindell open, in and out. He's 0 for 3 now. He's been an excellent playmaker, as usual. Has a couple of assists. Been key on a couple of fast break opportunities. Denied again. Baycott with another block. Cormac Ryan drives it. And he is blocked by Hall. Last touch by Ryan. Michigan State ball here.
Well, 2 outstanding plays. Here's Armando Baycott kind of timing up A.J. Hoggard in his drive. Look, he gives them space. Yeah, hand is on the back a little bit, but not enough for a foul. And blocks it with his offhand. And then in transition, it's Tyson Walker influencing that shot. And eventually, Malik Hall getting a piece, but then going out of bounds on Cormac Ryan.
Great minutes for Armando Baycott. 11 points. Just the 1 rebound, but was at the line plenty. 7 of 8 from the line, had 2 blocks as well.
Trying to go back inside to Malik Hall.
Ingram is on him now. Trimble and watching Akins, trying to deny him, does so. A peek of the clock, 5 to shoot. Akins lets it fly. Akins missed it. Wojcik the rebound.
And that's beautiful pick and roll defense. Classic. Get over the top. Don't allow the pick and roll to happen and blow it up.
Hubert Davis wants to talk it over. 5 seconds separating shot and game clock. Tennessee Volunteers fans starting to file in. About 4 hours from Knoxville. It'll be very orange in our second game here in Charlotte.
So we go from light blue to orange, basically.
Working clock here. Can take it all the way down. Cano finally finds Ingram, who pops out for a 3, and he hits it. Harrison Ingram. Hubert Davis draws up a 3, and he gets a 3. Sissoko inside. Time expires in the first half. Carolina down 12. The first 12 minutes come roaring back using a 17-0 run. It finishes as a 23-3 run, and Ingram hits a big one, Jim.
I tell you what, the closing speed of North Carolina to be able to figure out and dissect what Michigan State was doing well.
They did miss 4 total free throws in the first half. He also said during that stretch where North Carolina took over, he told me they took bad shots. He thought the offense got stagnant. Just a lot of dribble, dribble, dribble. We can't let that happen again.
All right, good stuff there, Allie. Thank you. And that stretch Izzo was referencing a 17-0 run at one point. Michigan State went a little over 6 minutes between made field goals in that stretch as the clock went under 8 minutes of the first half. Sparty ball here to start this second half. And A.J. Hoggard missed a little mid-range jumper. Cooper keeps it alive, and Cadeau with a block. The smallest man on the floor gets himself a block shot. Hoggard's going to line up a 3. Another miss, and Baycott clears.
Yeah, a couple attempts right there by Michigan State, but Tar Heels able to hold their ground. They escape without Michigan State being able to gain a little momentum starting this second half.
Check the matchups here. Back down to Bacot. They clear it out. Cooper trying to defend, and now kicks it. And Ryan hits a three. Again, the ball movement. It touches the paint, then it bounces.
And that's just Armando Bacot reading the situation. The defense is going to help, and Cormac Ryan put himself right in the position in that sight line to catch, have a clean look, and ultimately knock it in.
Second three for Ryan. Walker hangs and scores. And that is the guy that Michigan State will call on. Coming off 19 points against Mississippi State. Hit 3 threes in that game in round one Thursday. Arada Davis misses. And here comes Hogard.
Well, it was Tyson Walker that kind of got the party started for Michigan State early. He was able to get to his mid-range game, knocking a couple threes, and let's see if he and Malik Hall can get it back.
So Malik Hall this time working on Harrison Ingram. He wasn't moving Ingram like he was moving Withers, but he spins off of him, gets the bucket inside. Hall's got 9 points. He has been a real threat on the block. Bacot just picking him apart on the double team. He's finding the open man. It is Ingram who hits his 4th three-pointer. 4 for 4 from beyond the arc. Harrison Ingram. Hogard working with Cooper, goes away from it. Akins wide open for 3, rips the cords. Sparty needed that. Early substitution here for Tom Izzo. Madi Sissoko soon to be checking in here, trying to find an answer with Bacot on that Carolina block. Elliot Cadeau again, another miss. 0 for 4 out there. He might have taken his last. He's missed his last 11 three-pointers. Akins, catch and shoot! Back to back for Jaden Akins. Jimmy, remember, he went for 16 in the Sweet 16 last year at Madison Square Garden. Always an X factor. Such a key from beyond the arc. Hogard pushes. Hogard kicks it. Hall, three-pointer. Cooper, a back tap out to Ryan. North Carolina controls it.
The open shots is because of the activity by Michigan State. Good drive by R.J. Davis, but it got tapped a little bit now in transition.
Hogard steady, keeps his head up, takes the contact. Oh, a rebound with his back on the ground. Another possession here for Michigan State. Shot clock issue, I believe. Doug Sermons popped the whistle here. A chance to dry off the floor.
Brian, I want to show you something right here with Armando Bacot when you come in for the double team. When the ball goes around, I'm going to freeze it here. When A.J. Hogard comes to this double team, watch where his hands are at. He's a smaller opponent that doesn't really influence the pass out. So if you're going to double team, you got to force that pass to come back on the strong side. And if it goes weak side, it's an advantage. And speaking of which, Holloman able to get up underneath the defense, and we see what Tom Izzo was talking about. Get the ball back in the paint, score that way. That allows you to set your defense.
Holloman, a big scorer off the bench. Tom Izzo tries to get about 8 to 10 minutes a game from the point guard position. Bacot going strong, missed it, but the putback is good. Armando Bacot gets his own, puts it in, stops an 8-0 run. Akins flying down the floor after the make, and one. And Akins will go to the line to try to make it a 2-point game. And believe it or not, that is the last time a Big Ten team won a national championship. That Michigan State title in 2000.
Listen, not just one of my favorite teammates of all time, one of my favorite people of all time. Had the pleasure of playing with him at Sacramento. Now, he didn't play a lot, but you wouldn't tell because his enthusiasm spread across, and he spent a number of hours with my son, my older son, working out in gyms, and I just love Clevo, Mateen Cleaves to death.
Harrison Ingram drives it this time. A little fade away. He's good, man. He is cooking right now. Harrison Ingram having his moment. He's 4 for 4 from beyond the arc. He's only missed 2 shots. 14 points for the Stanford transfer.
And what did Tom Izzo say to us about it yesterday at practice? That's the one that we have to figure out, and we can't let him get going. And he's the X factor thus far, I believe, for North Carolina.
Holloway drives it. Baycott on him. He rises up over him. Ingram back tap out to Baycott. One and done from Michigan State. Carolina trying to answer that Spartans run. Stepped on the sideline, did Davis. And Carolina turns it over. It's been a pretty clean game for Carolina. Just their third turnover thus far. Yep. Easy call for Jeff Clark.
Well, but it's good, too, because, again, it's a turnover. You don't like to have it, but it's a dead ball turnover, which means now you don't give the advantage to Sparty to be able to get in transition and figure out a way to get something easy. And there's Tyson Walker coming up hard with that screen. Had a good look. Got a great look of it. Look at it.
R.J. Davis. Step back three-pointer flies. Back iron. Long rebound to Baycott. And he'll get it back to Davis, who's got a plug in his nose right now. Looks like he may have taken a shot. Working with Baycott, two-man game. No, Davis will just take it himself.
But that's an excellent read. That time, Nadi Sissoko was in drop coverage. So that means you're going to force the guard to kind of shoot that floater. But that's something that R.J. Davis is very comfortable with.
Akins misses. Offensive board Hall. Ingram pushes him. Foul on the floor on Harrison Ingram. And Michigan State will retain possession. Say coach or courtside. You make the call. You can refresh your fandom with a delicious Coke Zero Sugar. Is it the best Coke ever? You try and decide. Substitutions here as Xavier Booker enters along with Jackson Kohler. So Tom Izzo gets a three-point shooter with some size in Booker out there. Step on the side, baseline, he sure does. And Walker turns it over, and we send it over to Allie LaForce.
Hey, Brian. Well, you were talking about R.J. Davis. Armando Baycott said publicly earlier this year, this is R.J. Davis's team. Armando said March runs through the guards. You look at teams that win championships, it starts with the good guard. Everybody else falls in line. I asked R.J. about it. He said, honestly, I'm speechless. I'm a humble kid. I don't see it as my team. I see it as our team. But certainly, they fall in line to him.
My favorite response to that was Hubert Davis's as Baycott draws the foul. Hubert Davis said, wait, whose team is this to be given away but mine? Both you guys.
Yeah, but the fifth-year senior felt compelled to say, I've been here long enough, I can at least do that. But those two, R.J. Davis and Armando Baycott, they formed the relationship right away. You know, Baycott was a sophomore, R.J. Davis a freshman coming in. They figured out when they first met that this is going to be a long-lasting relationship, and both want to go out on top here in regards to winning the national championship one step at a time. But their relationship has been forged over years of battles and disappointments, and now they want to cap it off with hoisting the trophy, of course, and cutting down some nets.
Think about this. Baycott in his 168th game. R.J. Davis 137th game at Carolina. Michigan State with the ball here. 6.5 gone by in the second half. 9-point Carolina lead at the half. Walker hounded inside corner and a block by Trimble, and Ingram saves it. Wow, the best athlete on the floor. Seth Trimble coming up with a defensive gem right there. The fifth block for the Heels.
Yeah, but Jackson Kohler has to go through that. You have to finish that a lot stronger, get up above the rim, but that was excellent rotation by Trimble.
Good job by Tyson Walker to break that pass up. Now 6 to shoot. Davis pounding it. Davis trying to get loose from Holland. Cannot. He is stripped. Tyson Walker with the steal, and Walker able to lay it in. Contested by Trimble. Walker goes high off the glass.
Two things, though. R.J. Davis took the ball to his left side, and that was right where the defense was at with Tyson Walker. Walker in transition. Out of his peripherals, identifying where Trimble was at.
Baycott, baseline jumper is true. 16 points for Armando Baycott. 8 of those coming from the free throw line. 16 and 6 for him right now. 2 of those 6 rebounds offensive. Here's Booker, and he's got it. And that is a confidence booster right there. That got Tom Izzo bouncing out of that seat.
You see why they're so high on this young freshman. His ability to stretch the court, bring the big out.
Cormac Ryan misses the three. Here is Hogarth driving, and Trimble's got another one. What a talent. He sets up Ryan, and that's a foul.
4 appearances, 7 by UNC, 8 by Michigan State, but North Carolina's been able to cut the nets down a couple times. But the history speaks volumes with these programs.
And just to reset it, as Cormac Ryan is at the line, North Carolina 5-0 against Michigan State in the NCAA tournament. That is the backdrop to this matchup. First time they have met since they squared off in a national championship. Tom Izzo and Roy Williams back in 2009. That was in Detroit. Cormac Ryan hits them both. So Carolina extends their lead to 6. 17th all-time meeting between the schools. And it has been one-sided in Carolina's favor. Xavier Booker gives it up. Akins, who's had a big second half already. 9 points in this second half. Taking on Ingram. He gets in there, and he missed it. Gets his own, missed it again. Akins keeping it alive. That'll be Carolina ball. Once again, Trimble's involved.
Yeah, but here's the thing. North Carolina's bigs have been able to control the mismatch when Michigan State wants to isolate a guard on them. That's been huge because Michigan State hasn't been able to exploit that on the switch. Excellent job of moving their feet and then using their left once they gotten closer to the basket. Turnover.
Got a deflection. Sparty wants to run it here. Going up top. Oh, back pass. Holloman, who missed 2 lobs in round 1. Misfires here with Booker out ahead. And a miss by Davis.
When a game like this, when you have a 2-on-1, 3-on-2, you got to be able to cash that in. Because when it comes to being a close game, those points or lack thereof can ultimately come back to hurt you.
They go down to Hall, but it's Baycott on him. And Hall, he was grabbed. Got a piece of that jersey, did Baycott, and Malik Hall, who's had a great day here on the block, is going back to the line.
Well, you wanted to gate some height, put that shoulder right in the middle of the chest, and now you're not able to jump. Notice Baycott couldn't get off the ground because the last hit came from Malik Hall, and then he exploded. Baycott couldn't get up and ultimately picked up that foul.
Baycott sent Withers to guard Booker on that possession. Hall cashes in a free throw. A reminder, on Pluto TV, there's hundreds of channels and thousands of movies, all for free. Just turn on the TV and watch it. It's that easy. Pluto TV, stream now. Pay never. So Malik Hall, he's been targeting Jalen Withers. But this time got Baycott on his back. Got the foul, turns it into 2 points for Michigan State. We got a 4-point game here. This 1-9 matchup in the West. Winner goes to Los Angeles and the Sweet 16. Approaching the halfway point of this second half. High-level competition here in round 2. Both teams would blow out double-digit wins in round 1 as Davis misses on Trimble, but it was deflected. 5 to shoot here for Carolina.
At Michigan State, you either want to force this ball to the corner or back out. You can't have anything cutting to the basket.
Going up top for Withers. They snuffed it out, though, as Hall was there defending. And Michigan State gets a stop defensively.
Yeah, but Withers had time. I think he thought the shot clock was under 2 seconds. If he would have just gathered himself, maybe took a power dribble, he would have had a cleaner look, but ultimately a stop for Sparty.
Check the matchups here. Again, it's Baycott on Hall down underneath. Holloman, he's a scorer, working with Booker now. Got the switch. Withers on him. He's the target. Holloman falls down and then throws it away. And you wonder how long Tom Izzo is going to be able to go with Holloman running the play.
It tells you right now because he's coming out. Right there. But listen, once again, the post players or bigs for North Carolina guarding in space. Holloman couldn't get around Jalen Withers, and hence Holloman turned it over. That's just excellent point of contact defense for North Carolina.
Holloman with 2 turnovers in that missed lob. He's on the bench. Hogard is in. Hogard checking Ingram, the shooter. Davis gives it to Baycott. Baycott missed it. And there's Hall with a rebound, but he lost it off his leg. And it'll be Carolina ball here. Unforced error for Malik Hall.
Well, watch at the end. Withers right there. And a lot of times you're going to tell your guys to get back, but that time it paid off that he was able to get a piece of it, and it went off Malik Hall's hands. Look at the turnover. 10 turnovers right now for Michigan State, 12 points. Tom Izzo said we need to win the effort, battle of the effort plays. Well, right now it's in favor of North Carolina.
Michigan State, on average, turns it over just shy of 10 a game. Top 30 in the nation. Three-pointer from Davis. Oh, Paul Glass! Off the window! And R.J. Davis puts Carolina up 7. He's got 15 now. His third made 3. Withers ends up on Walker. Michigan State trying to answer here. Hall goes between the legs. And Hall, a little spice on that one as he hits the mid-range jumper. I'm only thinking of if he turns that over.
Oh, come on, man.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
The wrath of Tom Izzo.
And he already gave it to Holloman.
Oh,
so
man.
Malik, I mean, it's tricky, too, because he did that in traffic.
That was a lot of traffic.
Yeah. Double team came over for Booker.
Baycott hits Ingram. He misses. Withers, the offensive rebound and the putback. Withers needed something positive. He just had that poke away that forced the turnover. Now he gets a putback here. The kid from Charlotte playing in his hometown. Xavier Booker taking on Withers. Ooh, he's got a lot of skill in his game.
Yes, he does.
Freshman from Indianapolis, Cathedral High School. His minutes starting to elevate here in the late season. Tom Izzo trusts him, especially when he needs 3-pointers. Carolina's lead is 5 with the ball. Here comes Withers again. Baycott, eyes in the back of his head. Set him up beautifully.
But what did I tell you about the experience? And you see a little injury. Tom Izzo was saying, if you're going to go double team. You can't be in between, because that allows Baycott, who once again has seen everything, he can pick you apart. An excellent job by Withers by seeking the opening out.
Well, A.J. Hogard on the bench now. Remember, a little bit of an injury right there. So Holloman's back on, and Trimble has his 3rd block. Set Trimble. What a defensive performance he is putting on in this second half.
Yeah, a potential 6 points for Sparty denied because of the pursuit defensively of the sophomore Seth Trimble.
Baycott taking on Cooper. Off the window, no. Coming out of the pack, Tyson Walker. Ingram picks him up. Hall's going to step into a 3. Missed it. Had a good look, too. And that'll be Carolina ball. Last touch by Akins.
Yeah, that's the second one, too, Malik Hall has had in transition. You notice in his shot, he shoots it a little bit slower. Okay, he's trying to guide it up there and get it up. But he's had some good looks from behind 3 in transition. And he shoots it at about 35%, but not able to cash those in.
By the way, A.J. Hogard, he looks like he's just dealing with cramping. He's got the massage gun on his calf. He's pounding water over there. As Elliot Cadeau lays it in.
And not a good look, too. Trey Holloman just gets back in the game, and you understand that Cadeau is not going to be a threat from the outside, so you can't allow him to beat you off the dribble and get to the baseline and score.
That's a great call. Akins misses the jumper. Baycott the rebound. Carolina trying to stretch it now. Get back into double digits. Ingram, why not? And it goes! Hit every part of that rim and falls. And Michigan State wants a timeout.
Not allowing him to get off. Well, that hasn't worked so far. And the beauty about his game and why he's so efficient, being that 3rd scorer, he's playing off of Baycott and R.J. Davis, allowing the offense to work for him and not against him.
5 made 3s. 6 minutes to go in regulation here. Ingram fouls Malik Hall. You might have noticed A.J. Hogard back on the floor. So this is a key moment right now for Michigan State to see if they can fight their way back with their point guard returning. like he was dealing with some cramping in the lower leg. Hall drives it. Oh, what a strong finish for Malik Hall with Bacot right on him.
Head down, but he was able to finish right through the. It was a sliver of space in the lane that he was able to exploit. He from Michigan State has cut this lead down to 4 or 5 with about 3 minutes left. Headed into this game.
Bacot from the post, little turnaround jump hook is good. His signature shot.
Yep.
And Bacot and the Heels answer, the top seed in this West region. They were the last #1 seed. They grabbed that last spot. Hogard turned away by Bacot. Kicks it, three-pointer. No. Cooper there fighting. And that's Ingram with a rebound.
Yeah, and I would go back. That time, I would figure it out. Maybe not direct post, but move the ball around a little bit. Get Bacot back on the block because the double team didn't come. He was able to go one-on-one on Cooper.
Some ball control here, down into Bacot. Steady. Carson Cooper defends him. He turns away from the double. Withers keeps it alive and then knocks it out of bounds. That'll be Michigan State ball. Back to Malik Hall,
who got hit right there in the chops, but
he's in our thrilling drives presented by Nissan.
Yeah, this time able to get by Bacot on the perimeter, and the gap was open slightly, but just enough for Malik Hall.
He'll be okay.
Yeah. It's been physical the whole time. Again, these things are going to happen when you got big bodies like this. And listen, that's one you can't brace yourself for because you don't see it coming. It stings for a minute, but there's no way Hall's going to allow that to take him out this game, especially with a little under 4 minutes, 50 seconds left in this game.
Once the eyes stop watering, you can give it a go. He's a rebound away from a double-double. Big possession here. They're all big for Michigan State the rest of the way. Carolina leads it by 12. Here is Walker for 3. Missed it. Missed everything. Tar Heels ball.
And Xavier Booker entering back in the game. He gives you a threat now. But what you also have to consider from a young player is on the defensive end. He's already had a couple of mishaps by not really adhering to the defensive principles. So he gives you offense, but at the same time, he could be a liability on the defensive end.
Tar Heel fans feeling like this might be one of the best defensive teams. There's a follow! Jalen Washington, the follow jam. Carolina's coming up with a finishing kick here, trying to put away Michigan State. Hogard misses. You can tell he's not right. He takes the foul.
Yeah, but Brian, I would say that had something to do with the calf, but it didn't. That time, he just didn't finish that play. Michigan State hasn't been able to finish inside, but on the other end, it's been North Carolina. Keep in mind, early in this game, Michigan State had a decisive edge on points in the paint. Guess what? It's tied up 24-24.
Hogard 1 of 10. 0 for 8 from 2-point range. And out he goes once again. Holloman returns. North Carolina leading it by 14 here. And it's their biggest lead. Holloman fouls Cadeau. Very much been fun to watch. What a story taking down Kentucky. Carolina comes out of that timeout. Cormac Ryan with the offensive rebound. He's immediately fouled. And Jim, Carolina right now looking every bit the #1 seed, trying to put this Michigan State team away. It's been an extended run here.
The effort plays that Tom Izzo talked about that they needed to win haven't come to fruition. And North Carolina just gutted it out. 50-50 balls, and look at this, another layup inside. And that's another miscue defensively. You can't allow the ball to be entered into the middle of the lane from underneath out of bounds. And these mistakes mentally have cost Michigan State along with some of these turnovers.
Well, another turnover for Michigan State. Carr with a hard foul on R.J. Davis. 3.5 to go here. Michigan State got it within 2, 4 minutes into the second half.
Well, listen,
48-46, but it's been all Carolina since.
Well, you got 2 freshmen in there, and defensively, you got to be active. That ball has to go towards the baseline, corner, or back out.
That wasn't that hard of a foul, by the way.
You don't think?
I saw the locks flying. And R.J. Davis, a little bit of an embellishment right there. Foul game begins here. That'll send Davis to the line. 1-1 for R.J. Davis. You know, Jim, North Carolina, every game they play, all these big games as they go through the ACC conference, you get into the ACC tournament, into this tournament, it's always the same question. Where is the third score going to come from? If they get a third score, somebody who delivers outside of Davis and Bacot, they can beat anybody in the country.
You know, matchups are going to dictate different outcomes, but this was a game in particular for Jalen Washington to really do what he does well, which is score the basketball. I mean, so much attention is going to be drawn towards, of course, R.J. Davis and Bacot, but he's not, Harrison Ingram, he's not having to force the offense, a good drive and penetration right there. But it may be somebody else in the next game. But also, keep in mind, Seth Trimble, his defensive prowess with those blocks that potentially are momentum swings for Michigan State. The others have stepped up in this North Carolina game. If they secure the win, 3 minutes left, you can point back to those two individuals in particular.
Hall fouled on his way in. Harrison Ingram matching his career best with the 5 made threes, 17 points. Davis with 16, Bacot has 18, and that third scorer, Harrison Ingram. Texas native from Dallas, went to Stanford for a couple of years, was the Pac-12 Freshman of the Year. He's already hit the 1,000-point milestone in just his third year at the collegiate level. His first year with Carolina, as Malik Hall knocks down the first free throw. Malik Hall in his 5th year, his first as a full-time starter. Turned into a leader, vocal leader.
Battled through injuries last year.
Michigan State team, a Sweet 16 team a year ago. North Carolina missed the tournament last year. Quite the shock. Almost immediately got the great news that Bacot was coming back to continue his stellar career. And Bacot and R.J. Davis, 2 of the top 5 scorers in program history. And when you do that at North Carolina, you've done something. R.J. Davis in round 1 past Lenny Rosenbluth, who was the National Player of the Year on that 57 championship team. So R.J. Davis currently 5th. Bacot sits at 2nd all-time, passing Phil Ford. Tyler Hansbrough is in the building. He's calling games on radio for the Carolina Tar Heels. So you got 3 of the top 5 in the building on the all-time scoring list.
This is the beauty about this North Carolina team. The inside-out combination of Davis and Bacot. And why that's important is because if jump shots are not falling, you can throw it down.
In uptown Charlotte, it is going to be packed full of Tennessee orange. You've got the burnt orange of the Longhorns as well. It should be an excellent matchup. Rick Barnes against Rodney Terry, 2 guys that worked together for a long time in Austin, 9 years. Rodney Terry, his assistant. That'll be the second one. Carolina trying to finish this one off as the freshman Elliot Cadeau goes to the line. 1-1 here for Cadeau.
A much better performance, and not from just because he's able to get some points on the board, is that he made it a point after the game when he saw the stat sheet, even though he knew in his head that he had those 4 turnovers. Well, guess what? He came back, showed his maturity, 0 turnover. So he didn't take chances. He stayed solid. He made the solid plays, and he didn't cost his team offensive opportunities by giving it up.
Tyson Walker. Walker closing out his career epic run. Started at Northeastern. He actually played against Carolina a couple of years ago while he was at Northeastern. He and R.J. Davis matching up against one another here. They were AAU teammates in Brooklyn. Played against each other in high school. reuniting on the floor in this second round game as Ingram misses the layup. 2 minutes to go. And Cormac Ryan fouls Walker. Walker was the guy who was kind of overlooked. Davis certainly had a lot of attention around the country and ended up going to Carolina. Tyson Walker was not. He didn't have any scholarship offers. A little bit undersized. Went to Northeastern, transferred into the Big Ten, all Big Ten second team. Finished third in the Big Ten in steals this year. Kind of knew he was a dude, though, back when he was at Northeastern. He dropped 27 on Carolina back in the 21-22 season. And that's when the attention started to be more focused on Tyson Walker.
Well, but that's an example, too, of a young man that was able to hone his game over 2 to 3 years at a smaller Division I school. Now, it's a catch-22 with that, too, because a lot of smaller D1 schools, mid-majors, they lose guys like that they've developed over the years that ends up transferring to a North Carolina, to a Michigan State. Dalton Connect, who we'll see next, to a Tennessee, and can't benefit over the course of their whole career because of that. So it's a catch-22 that I know, right now it's a quandary in college basketball. Well, it's been that way too.
Jaden Akins fouls out. Cormac Ryan at the line. Cormac Ryan at age 25 in his 6th year of college ball. Oh, the horror. Some pretty good performances out here today.
Trying to pick it up.
Selling it hard. I mean, it was a foul, but it wasn't
trying to pick
that
it
kind
up.
of foul. Yeah, Akins done for the day as he fouls out after 15 against Mississippi State. Akins with 11 here today. Had a quick 9 in the start of the second half. They got it within 2 points. North Carolina going to put this one to bed here. Their crowd rises to their feet. The #1 seed in the West region, the Carolina Tar Heels, about to go to 6-0 against Michigan State in the NCAA tournament.
The poise, the patience, and not panicking when they got down North Carolina.
Nice finish by Davis and a little skip on his way back down the floor.
Yep, allowed them to kind of go on that run to close out the first half, and despite Sparty trying to make some efforts to get back into it, it was not enough for this veteran-laden North Carolina team, who right now looking forward to LA, Santa Monica, a little Sweet 16 action.
16, that is the most. 21 Final Fours. And how about Hubert Davis? 3rd year as the head coach, ACC Coach of the Year, ACC regular season champions. That's the first for Hubert Davis. Carolina through and through, was a great player. First-round draft pick out of Carolina by the Knicks. Longtime assistant, did some television.
Yep,
and has
very
come
good
back
at
in
it,
his 3rd year as a head coach. And his team is headed to Los Angeles.
Well, but you know what, too, and it's how you handle pressure, too, because Hubert had success early when he first got the job. So now expectations are out the roof. Now every year you're not only North Carolina, but you're Hubert Davis, you're a son of the program, you're supposed to win. There's no way you're not supposed to make the tournament. And at North Carolina, those are dire times when it doesn't happen, but he stayed the course, restructured his roster, got his guys refocused, and with the help of Baycott coming back and R.J. Davis, they're advancing to their 31st Sweet 16.
Both coaches empty out the bench. And a chance at an ovation for some great players here. Michigan State into the line here. Tyson Walker will be wrapping up his collegiate career. A fantastic run. Yep. First at Northeastern and then at Michigan State. Led Michigan State in scoring the last 2 years. And now Cormac Ryan will exit as well. Mady Sissoko is out. Zayden high on the floor. Final 30 seconds. Steven Izzo, Davis Smith, Nick Sanders. All sons of famous fathers. Nick Sanders, the son of Barry. Can't hit the jumper right there. Craig Lebo will dribble it out. The dominance continues for the Carolina Tar Heels. They'll have a matchup with either Alabama or Grand Canyon at the Sweet 16 in Los Angeles. Sweet 16, number 31 for Hubert Davis and the Carolina Tar Heels program. 85-69 the final. And Roy Williams, like a